Monday, Diane and I went to Garden City for dinner and a little last-minute shopping. It's kind of become a pre-Christmas tradition for us, in part because we've always got something more that we need to get, and in part because sometimes that Monday is the final calm day before the storm that awaits. So I love our outing. I also have a secret pleasure in it, which is that usually as we're walking through stores, there's a moment when Diane sees something that she likes. And I have to pull the trick of slipping it out, getting it to the cash register, and buying it without her ever knowing that I've done it. No, I'm good at this. In fact, I was successful on Monday, but I can't tell you because she's sick. But for the record, she was not the only one to benefit from our little shopping excursion. Actually, I too came home with a purchase. You see, we were going to one of my favorite stores, and I happened to point out this jacket that I liked. And the next thing I knew, she was saying, "We'll try it on," and one thing led to another, and there we were walking out of the store with coat in hand. But I have to say, in an expression of my discipline and maturity, he didn't laugh at the 7:45. Anyhow, before I was so rudely interrupted, as an expression of my discipline and maturity, I made the arrangement that I would not wear it until after Christmas. And so when we got home, I went to our closet to hang it up, to keep it out of sight for the next 2 weeks. I opened the door, I looked in the closet, and lo and behold, the closet was full. There was no room to hang it. And so I went to our second closet, and don't you know, that closet was filled with jackets as well. Now, let me say, in some mild attempt at self-defense, we do have 4 children in our home. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 coats were mine. So the night was getting late, I wanted to get to bed, I decided I'd just hang the coat over the back of the chair, and when the next morning came, I'd find a place to stash it away. And that's what I did. I went to sleep, I woke up, the next morning came, and I went to read the lessons for this Sunday, and I read, "Whoever has 2 coats must share with everyone." I hate it when this happens. And I swear to you, I am not making this up. If you've been in church over the last couple of weeks, then you have heard these lessons that are just so filled with doom and gloom. They are ominous and they are apocalyptic in nature. Finally, as we're on the 3rd Sunday of Advent, we get a little something cheerier, a little brighter. The first lesson from Zephaniah starts off, and it's just gorgeous when you listen to the words, "Sing aloud, O daughter of Zion. Shout, O Israel. Rejoice and exalt with all your heart. The Lord has taken away the judgment against you." Now that's what I'm looking for here, right? And then the canticle that we sang, and by the way, you all did a nice job with that new setting. The canticle that we sang, it's equally sort of hopeful and joy-filled. "Sing aloud," "Surely God is my salvation," we sang. "I will trust and not be afraid. With joy you will draw water from the wells of salvation." That's good stuff. Even from Paul, we get more joy. He writes to the Philippians, "Rejoice in the Lord always," Paul writes. Again, I say rejoice, the Lord is near. Do not worry about anything. Finally, we have something that we can cheer about. And until we get to the gospel and John the Baptist, he really knows how to warm up a crowd, doesn't he? Let me just say, don't invite John to your Christmas party. It won't go well if you do. But there John is, you brood of vipers, he says. Thanks a lot, John. It's not clear exactly how things start. He's talking to a crowd. We hear that. There's some, depending upon what version you're reading, whether it's Matthew or Luke, there's some sort of variation on who's in this crowd. For Matthew, it was the Sadducees and the Pharisees. They were kind of the temple elite. For Luke, whom we hear from today, it's a more diverse crowd. It's the Jewish faithful, but then it's also tax collectors and even some soldiers thrown in there. Luke seems to want the entire crowd to know that repentance is a task for all of us to embrace. John looks at them and he says, okay, so who warned you? Right? Who told you to be out here? We're not sure whether he's asking that in an accusatory tone or whether he's just trying to gather information. It's sort of like reading an email. You can't fully capture the mood there. But there's no mistaking the mood that comes in his following words. When he says, you brood of vipers, and he says, whoever has 2 coats must share with anyone who has none, and whoever has food must do likewise, and he goes on and on. I wonder if they heard anything after he said, you brood of vipers. John looks at the Jews in the crowd, and he speaks to them, perhaps, first. And he knows that they've fallen into this way of self-absorption, that they've grown indifferent to those who are in need, those who are struggling, that they've lost sense of the justice that their prophets call them to, that they seem to be focused just on gathering more for themselves. And that's why he speaks to them with this instruction. If you have 2 coats, give one away. If someone's hungry, give them food. And surely they must have thought, that's hard stuff. But there's this warning from them. There's this warning that John gives them that, look, you cannot rely simply on your relationship to Abraham and think that God is all good with that. I want you to do something different. And I'm struck by the fact that as John talks to them about what they should be doing, it doesn't go into worship. It's not about piety. It's not about their religious practices. John seems less interested in what they believe and more interested in how they behave. I want you to be different. He then turns to the tax collectors. They say, well, what about us in a sense? These tax collectors are hated. They are hated because not only are they collecting taxes for sort of the purpose of the economy, but they're hated because they're collecting extra money for their own purposes. Because they too are sort of driven by greed and they're lining their pockets whenever they're collecting their taxes. And he turns to them and he gives them sort of similar orders. He says, collect no more than the amount prescribed to you. Just that. And finally, the soldiers, perhaps the most surprising guests in the crowd. He looks at the soldiers, and he knows what people say about the soldiers. They who have abused their power, they who have put fear into people, they who serve the empire and serve their own needs. He knows these soldiers well. And he says to them, do not extort money from anyone by threats or false accusations. Be satisfied with your wages. He gets right at where they live. It's a diverse crowd. In some ways, 3 different groups in this crowd, right? The faithful Jews, the tax collectors, and the soldiers. The religious, the people of the economy, and the people of the empire. 3 different groups in this crowd. But you know what? Really, his advice to those 3 groups is much the same. And it is, stop thinking only of yourself. Think of others. It is, understand when enough is enough. Don't succumb to that hunger to collect more, to gather more, to want more. But know that the community and justice starts by sharing and by knowing when enough is enough. Whether it's the faithful Jews or the tax collectors or the soldiers, really the work of repentance is the same. John's words, they're harsh words. And yet, I think even for those of us today, we would do well to pay attention to them, to let them nudge us into understanding when enough is enough. To let them call us into question as we gather and buy more and fill our closets with another jacket. To let them open our eyes to the difference between want and need, and to understand that there are people of need who really need, because tomorrow they might not have a coat to wear when it's cold. Or tomorrow they don't know where that next meal will come from. John's words challenge us, how we make our life of faith. And frankly, also they challenge us to consider the economy that we embrace and the empire that we elect. Are we willing to look at others? Are we able to know what enough is enough? So maybe John wouldn't be the life of your party if you invited him. But maybe he's just the right person to invite over to our home before Christmas. Because here's the deal. Until we have room in our home or in our closets for Jesus to be born, then we're not really ready to celebrate Christmas. It's not just that we need to prepare our closets, we need to prepare our hearts as well. Amen.